most dungeon maps are rooms connected by hallways. You kick in the door, you fight the thing, you move on. This dungeon is designed so that not only are the monsters fighting back, but the dungeon is as well. With pressure plates, one-way doors, and enemies who know exactly how to use them against you. It's based around the concept of the enemies having a home field advantage, and your players need to, or at least want to, take that away from them. This dungeon has three main features to it. One-way doors, which are quite simply one way. Unless the players have the appropriate password or crystal, or however you prefer to have them get the ability to open it, these doors should be one way only. Ideally, there should be no keyhole for a lock to be picked. Force the players to find alternative methods to get through, whether it's breaking through the door or making use of ye old pass wall spell. Secondly, there's the pressure plates. Each one of these, when stepped upon, will badly damage the target. I recommend something like a inflict wound spell scaled to the appropriate tier. Something that will hurt, but not necessarily cripple the player's character, unless they're high level and they can really take it. You can also feel free to toss on some debuffs like blindness, deafness, or perhaps hold monster, stuff like that. And then finally, there's lieutenants. They aren't on the map because this is a map rather than a showing all the individual enemies. But what you would want to do in this dungeon is put enemies that are intelligent, they're organized, and you'd want them to have different ways of moving about the battlefield other than walking. Because you want to make it so that while the party might have to make decisions, how am I going to get to the enemies past these pressure points, the enemies can and should be able to avoid them entirely unless the party forcibly introduces them to the pressure plates. Think enemies with a leap ability, or flying or climbing. Like a very simple tactic might be, take this room, this corridor for example. An enemy goes over to this side, attacks the party, heads back. Yeah, they eat an attack of opportunity, but the next one doesn't, nor does one following it. Whereas in order to get to attack them in melee, the party has to figure out what they're going to do with this pressure plate. Now, the lieutenants, technically lieutenants is not quite the right word, but the idea is some of the enemies should either A, have a crystal that can unlock it, if you're going that route, or B, know the password to unlock it, the given doors. And to make it clear, one password or one crystal will unlock all the doors from both sides. This will highly encourage the players to find ways to obtain those ways to get through the dungeon, because otherwise it's a pretty rough one. Like, yeah, you can go through most of the dungeon, but you can't make it to the enemy's quarters. You can't make it to where the treasure lays, and you're pretty much constantly on the back foot. Whereas conversely, once they have a password or a crystal, they can go like this way, this way, this way, and basically take all those areas from behind without having to worry about being ambushed the whole way or facing as difficult of terrain. This dungeon could work at any level, although expect at higher levels the players see more likely having access to stuff like fly or winged boots and things of that nature. But swap the entities to fit your campaign. The structure stays the same with the concept. The enemies control the terrain, and the party has to take that control back. Now, the map is free on my Patreon. Link is in the description below. I'm Red Archon. I run 6 D&D games a week and build maps designed to create tactical battles, not just white rooms. Enjoy!